Good evening, everybody out there in the interwebs land, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I am joined tonight by Dijon. How's it going, man?
Not too bad, man. How's it going for you?
Not too bad. Just another manic Wednesday. Can't complain. But yeah, we're wanted to continue our schedule on Wednesday. Keelan is not in. On this one, he's going to be on next week. He had some things to take care of, so we're going to be picking up the ball for him. And today we're just going to be talking about the Phase 4 lineup for all of the new Marvel movies that will be coming out. Some this year, some towards the end of this year, and then mostly in 2022. But yeah, Dijon and I just want to have a conversation kind of surrounding these franchises and what we think, what we hope is going to be in the stories, and then maybe a little speculation on the things that we don't exactly know. But yeah, Dijon, did you want to add anything before we jump into it?
No, not really. But who doesn't love speculation?
I mean, that's always fun, right?
And it helps the hype as we actually get these movies and TV shows out.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. This Phase 4 lineup looks pretty good. I am not surprised that everything is kind of pushed back because of obviously COVID for 2020 pushed a lot of production back. It would have been interesting to kind of see because I think we would have been getting a lot of this stuff this year had COVID not have been in the picture. But we'll have to wait a little bit longer, but that's okay. So let's just jump right into the first sort of title that is coming out. Pardon me. And that is the Black Widow movie. That's a movie, yes. It's not going to be a series, is it?
No, everything that Marvel basically announced, like in the last couple of days, everything is a movie. Reaching all the way up to freaking Jesus Christ, 2023.
Yeah, they definitely got the next few years planned out. So, Black Widow is coming out July 9th in 2021, so this year. And it's going to be kind of doing like a little bit of a, what do you call that? A retrospective about Black Widow and her life before joining the Avengers, kind of probably touching on that trope of why she has so much red in her ledger. I would suspect, right?
Red stand for what is the red stand?
Right. Yeah. What does it stand for? Yeah. But yeah, do you know any sort of background in the comic lore? Like, what can we expect from sort of a look back at Black Widow's life?
To be honest, to be honest, I don't know too much about Black Widow because it's just one of those characters that never really interests me. Anytime going to the comic book store, flipping through comics. I mean, I'm guilty as charged. When I would walk into a comic book shop, I'm like, give me Spider-Man, give me Batman, right. Give me the X-Men, give me what I'm expecting, or give me the AAA titles I'm used to seeing as a cartoon or what's out in the movie theaters right now. And I mean, there's multiple stories, multiple iterations of it, and honestly, this is what I do love about the MCU movies, is that they just basically make it new and fresh. It's not like they're not doing something that hasn't been done already, but they also deliver that fan service where it's like, we're not going to give you that page to page, panel to panel, iteration of that comic into a movie because it would be boring.
Yeah.
So
and you'd expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, cool. But I can probably say if everybody, of course, like we do, you've been watching these movies, I think it's just kind of funky in a sense that they're actually backtracking with her movie, especially since she's passed on and gone, because after Endgame, this takes place like right after Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah,
which is pretty interesting. Like, wow, you guys are backtracking that far back.
I thought it would have been even farther. I guess they kind of probably will have flashbacks and stuff, right?
Yeah, so this is an overdue order. This dyslexia is popping up. This is an
It's all
overdue.
good.
What do you call it? Origin story.
Okay.
Just for her off the
Right.
back, along with kind of fill in the blanks we kind of don't need. But Marvel and Disney, it's the kind of fill in the blanks you don't need. Like going back to Miss Marvel, like why are we getting this movie back in the '90s? But we get this, overdue origin story or just new character popping up, or just hey, we're going to give that character a movie, but we're going to give you some stuff to work with
Yeah.
to basically tease you on the next projects and stuff you guys want to see as fans, or just people joining the MCU family, just enjoying their shit.
Yeah. And a little background info about the I keep wanting to say Scarlet Witch, but about the Black Widow movie. It's going to be focusing on a lot about her roots and her quote unquote family, about the spies trained in the Red Room, as well as Taskmaster as the supervillain. So, wasn't Taskmaster in one of the Cap movies as well?
No, that was trying to remember that dude's name.
Yeah, the one with like the skull on his.
Wow, I'm literally blanking out on this dude's name.
Me too.
I gotta look it up.
Right. Who? I don't know. So is Taskmaster from? I don't know.
My first time seeing Taskmaster is reading old Deadpool comics, because Deadpool used to have issues with this dude. And this dude's whole big thing is muscle memory.
Oh, gotcha.
And what he does is he's basically, I mean, I can be wrong right now, but he's basically like this mercenary / type of kind of assassin-ish character. So his thing is he has muscle memory, and what he's done throughout the history of the Marvel comics, he's basically studied the heroes.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah,
so it's pretty dope. So when you see him with that shield, it's basically he's been studying Captain America, how he uses the shield. He studied how Hawkeye uses a bow and arrow or such and such. So this is why one of this character, someone like Deadpool, has so much of a hard time dealing with him.
Right.
That would basically predict everything you're doing.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I'd be interested in seeing that in a villain. It would be kind of maybe cooler if he could do it with more of the characters, but I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to get Hawkeye in the movie as well.
We will.
Yeah, and that I think is going to be his last foyer. Jeremy Renner is retiring. Oh no, he's doing a TV series.
He's doing
right?
a TV, and he might retire after that TV.
Right.
That TV series coming on to Disney Plus. I hate myself for this because I think I spoiled most of the movie for myself already. Because since the movie has been so delayed, basically a year, there has been people that actually got a chance to see a screening of this movie already.
Oh, okay.
And plots and stuff leaked. So it's just like, I already know what's going to be the after credit scene. And I'm just like,
isn't that the worst? Yeah.
That's why when I was talking to you guys, when we did the last show about Falcon and Winter Soldier, like I kind of already like, this is why this movie was supposed to come out and to kind of give you some more, keytones of what may happen, later on, especially with them bringing up the raft again. I can't wait. And I have a big, strong feeling that her sister in the movie will be the next Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
Because in the comics, she did become the Black Widow for a brief moment. So they're definitely taking those cues on playing the whole legacy role. Who's going to take up the mantle?
Yeah.
So,
do we need another Black Widow though? I mean, I don't really think we do. I think we're good. I mean, like there's so many other heroes to highlight here. I think that we could probably move on. But
I'm hyped. I mean, I can't wait to see it. I mean,
me too.
Depending on how things go, I might see it in theaters, or I might cop out and just watch it at home.
And I think David Harbour's in this as well, right? The guy that is in Stranger Things. the
Yeah,
police officer.
wasn't that dude Hellboy 2 as well in a reboot? I
Yes,
mean, a remake.
yes, uh-huh,
I
yes.
loved him in Hellboy as much as a lot
Mm,
of people thought it was a snore. I thought it was a good iteration to the comics, a little bit more
interesting.
than the last couple films. Even though I love Ron Perlman,
Mm.
I can't wait to see him.
Yeah,
He looks dope.
he's playing like a Russian style Captain America looking guy.
Don't
That's
know
gonna
too
be
much about it, but I
interesting.
can't wait.
I know, yeah. It'll be
Looks like he's
fun.
going to be the comedy relief of that movie too, as well.
I think so, which will be kind of cool. But let's move on to the next one because we got a few to go through here because you know how Marvel does it. They want to just overload you with a whole bunch of things to talk about. But the next franchise we have is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's on September 3rd in 2021. I believe this is a movie as well. Yes. Okay. And I don't know actually too much about the Shang-Chi storyline. I watched the trailer and it looks pretty cool. I really dug the martial arts scenes. I can tell that they're using like actual martial artists instead of some dude from Game of Thrones. And
Hey, that's coming up. That's coming up.
Is it? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. But
for the Eternals.
That's right. That's right. I can really, all I really say is that I hope that this is better, and I think it will be better than Iron Fist.
Oh, you did. I hope so.
I mean that show was really really bad. So if they could do anything better than that, then they're going to be fine. Because, you know, like a martial arts sort of storyline is sorely missing from like the MCU. So I can definitely see that being like a big, you know, a big impact on the MCU and just kind of expanding out the worlds.
For sure. And I can tell you, I do not know much about Shang-Chi as well. The closest I came across this character is the years of reading Spider-Man, when there was an arc where Spider-Man lost his ability for spider sense.
Oh, okay.
So he goes to, I guess, the dojo where Shang-Chi and his people are at, and he trains with him to kind of what do you call it? In basically bring up his abilities of awareness to
okay, yeah,
to do things, since he lost that sense, and that's about it. But
interesting. So he's kind of like a sort of like a Ra's al Ghul character, you know, like has his own ninja academy.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what this is all about. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. And I'm wondering, is the 10 rings, is that similar to the Mandarin's rings?
That is the Mandarin off the back, and this is where a lot of mixed feelings are coming from this. And I tell people this: if you are a real comic book goer, you're going to either get two type of fans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, yeah, I think two type of fans. The fans that are going to legitimately look, well, three, I think. The fans that are going to legitimately look at the situation where it's like, hey, we're getting a movie, hey, we're getting a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep our mouth shut, kind of like enjoy it for what it is,
right,
and just be happy. Then you have the other fans where they have to have everything pinned to,
of course,
right there. Like, it's not going to always be like that. Then you have, I'm going to put myself in this category, people like me. I'm going to enjoy it.
Right.
If it's crap, it's crap. If it's not, it's not. You know,
yeah.
I can see where I can either analyze it and just lose interest altogether and just enjoy it for what it's worth and just say, hey, it was all right.
Yeah.
And knowing that, hey, you read a comic book, you should know, well, when it comes to DC, Marvel, they've dabbed in the multiverse. They've dabbed in different universes. So, hey, the MCU is basically a different universe where shit doesn't align up with your regular stuff.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Basically, I think the main universe for Marvel is the 616 universe.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's used to. So this dude's dad is going to be the Mandarin in this movie. And it's not supposed to be his dad. It's supposed to be some other dude. And then we all know what happened in the Mandarin with the Mandarin fiasco in Iron Man 3, which pissed a lot of people off.
Ben Kingsley. Yeah. Until they did that like one-off where they kind of retconned it. They did that one shot of him in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they've been poking out the Mandarin since Iron Man 1.
Hmm.
If you go back and you decide to watch Iron Man 1, if you watch the video where the terrorists capture Tony Stark
Yeah.
on the broadcasting, you're going to see like the rings and the little logos of the
Mm,
Mandarin.
right.
So they might actually make reference to the Iron Man movies, which might be kind of cool.
That
And we'll
would be
see where
pretty
that
sweet.
go.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be down for that for sure. Yeah, but very stoked for that one that comes out September 3rd this year. So we'll have to definitely do a review on that. Next up, we have The Eternals, and that's November 5th, 2021. I had know almost nothing about The Eternals, and that
I
this
don't
is
either.
yeah, like I really like. I've heard about this particular movie coming out for at least 3 years now, I think. I mean, like I remember hearing about this supposed to be coming out for like 3 years by now. But
Yeah,
I also feel like they did an Eternals TV show. Did they did that? They did that, right?
there was oh my god, what the
It
hell was
wasn't
that
that.
shit? It wasn't that. Which I do want to make reference to it. I didn't want to get too carried away with the last show by bringing all these things into then humans.
There you go. And humans. Yeah. Yeah. I got that mixed up for some reason.
Trust me, when you get in, when you dive into the universe, you're gonna mix them up.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, man. It
Yeah.
happens.
Oh, this one's got a Game of Thrones character in
Jon Snow.
not Jon Snow, Rob Stark, his brother.
Oh, that's his brother.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the guy who played his brother in Game of Thrones. I forget his name because I'm not prepared. So that'll have to just be that. You guys know who I'm talking about.
They know.
Yeah, they know. Yeah,
They know.
they exactly know. Honestly, there's not even that much information about the Eternals. There's no. I don't even think there's a trailer. There's no trailer for it, is there?
I don't think so. I'm just as much as confused as anybody else on that whole situation because when I seen that whole 3 minute bit of kind of like, hey, we understand your pain. We can't wait for you guys to come back to the movies and watch these films.
Yeah.
Situation. I'm like, hey, where's the trailer? And when I was looking these
Yeah.
videos up, there was just like trailer. I'm like, that's not the trailer.
No, it's always some fan made trailer. You're like, yeah, they tricks you for like 10 seconds, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is just stock footage from some other movie. I know it makes me angry too. Yeah, so we know very little about the Eternals, so I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see.
I read a little.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to remember the book I read. It was written by Neil Gaiman.
Mhm.
Neil Gaiman, the guy that's written the Sandman books, which I hear the Sandman is coming to Netflix real soon. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, he also did. He also did American Gods.
Yep.
Yeah,
He wrote. This is the new Hollywood. Just diving into the comic book world.
Yeah, big time, big time. Yeah, I mean, so we can move on, I guess. And I think the one that's going to wrap out 2021 is going to be Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's December 17th. Yeah.
One more thing I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, go for it.
The Eternals, it most likely will kind of, coincide with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because if you ever go back to the first Guardians, they speak of the gods and the sentient beings.
Yeah.
So you'll see things called, I forget what they call it, the
Celestials.
The Celestials. The Eternals are supposed to dive into the whole concept of the Celestials.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I like that.
So you'll definitely get to see more of that. So everything is coming full circle, which is great.
Nice. Yeah. I like that too. I like how they can kind of weave all of this stuff together because it all does weave together. But yeah, so end of 2021, we got December 17th, Spider-Man No Way Home. They really are liking these home phrases. I don't know who decided that in in the corporate structure. They're like, I got an idea. Let's make sure that home is in every title.
I think they're picking at Sony like,
yeah,
we want to bring this dude back home.
That's so good.
How much do you want to? Yeah. Come on, we do we have to buy you guys?
Yeah, that's true. And they named the first one Homecoming, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Um, yeah, that is so funny. Like I heard somebody be like, they should just kiss already, like Sony and Disney, because I think like they're doing like an exclusive thing now where Sony's going to be like streaming on Disney Plus.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And you know what? It sucks. It sucks in many fashions. Where what did I buy? I exclusively bought the last Marvel video game that came out, the Marvel Adventures, on the PlayStation, just because they were gonna get exclusive shit like a Spider-Man fucking DLC, and I was just like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of that's one of my biggest beefs about the Spider-Man games. I've absolutely loved the Spider-Man games, but they're exclusive to Sony, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to buy a whole new system just to play the Spider-Man game. So you lost money on me, because if you had put it on Xbox or PC, I would have bought it. You know, like
I think it has a lot to do with the it's tricky because a lot of people are like, well, they got the movie rights. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But then too, I think it's one of those things where, and I'll tell you what Marvel started doing with the X-Men characters because of Fox. Every X-Men movie was just tanking, and it was this shit after shit after shit. So it came to a point where in a publication for Marvel, they did some very interesting shit. So from the whole Scarlet Witch situation, because they couldn't call her Scarlet Witch until literally
the last episode or something.
The show after acquiring Fox and all that assets. Right. Yeah. So it got to a point they canceled Fantastic Four comic books because they were just after that fiasco of that last movie.
Right. Yeah. Because Sony is
they were just changing the whole. Magneto is not the parent of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Right. They were actually adopted or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently this is going to be the last Spidey movie under the MCU.
Maybe.
Well, that's what they're saying. Yeah.
That's what they're saying. They're just pulling our legs.
That's, I mean, it's so true. But I think Sony wants to take Spider-Man into like the Venom angle. And I don't understand how that stylistically will work at all. Like, you're going to have to recast Tom Holland because he's way too much of a bright Spider-Man to be like with a Tom Hardy Venom, you know, like, and a Woody Harrelson Carnage. Like,
well, that's the thing, dude. That's the thing. And that's how I see Warner Brothers with the DC movies. It's just one of those things where it's like, let's cast whoever can look the part. Not beat apart.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's just like everything is just all over the place.
Yeah, you need to have at least a few under your belt before you recast something, you know, like, yeah.
I'll tell you this, and we was speaking about it in the last episode, and I made reference that, you know, you really can't go anywhere else without having a really good example from what Disney has created with Marvel on a whim, especially what they had and what they were trying to regain back with these characters.
Right.
And the thing is, I'm like, but they do it so well. And why not take examples from them? You don't have to be neck for neck, but you can take examples and make something even better or just as good.
I hope Jon Favreau owns like 50% of the MCU. Honestly, like, like he is the only reason that we're having this conversation today, is because he decided to take a gamble on a comic book movie. You know,
him and whatever that dude named Kevin Feige to end up taking over. Yeah, Feige that has taken over. And you know what? God bless them, because you know what? As a big Marvel fan, even if some of the movies like Captain Marvel, I'm like, meh about, or some of them, I'm just like, you know what? I appreciate it. It might not be panel to panel, but I'm loving it. I'm getting to see these characters
come to life,
and be told in a fashion where I'm not getting in the comic book world anymore. Yeah, I literally stopped reading comics because it just got so saturated with bullshit.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, of course. I don't know anything about the Spider-Man movie. I don't know. Do we know? Is it going to be Doc Ock?
Dude, I am so hyped. Out of all the Marvel movies,
nice.
It took me a while to warm up to the whole Tom Holland, and I had to rewatch Homecoming and be like, all right, I see where they're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be different. They can't just do like what DC does. They have to always reiterate fucking Batman and Superman every time.
Yeah, I know.
And I like the whole idea they didn't have to kill Uncle Ben on screen again.
Yeah, that was nice.
And they just made it so different. Like we
Yeah.
know his backstory, but let's get into Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I love it.
I do too. I think that it's a much more interesting story. It's the same thing with Batman. We've seen it a million times before. Please, and Superman. We know how these characters came. We've seen their origin stories a million times. Don't show us anymore. And I knew that they did that for Batman v Superman, where they put the origin story in like the credits or the intro or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, come on, dude, don't do that either. We know. Like, I don't know. If anybody doesn't know, then they can go watch the other 20 movies that exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hyped about this because it seemed like, and this might be the whole thing why Sony might do what they do. It's because it looks like, it sounds like they might do this whole Into the Spider-Verse type ish.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Because there's been rumors about Andrew Garfield coming back and what's his name?
Oh, they are so gonna try to make an entire empire out of just Spider-Man.
and they can, because that dude has such a huge rogue
He does.
list.
Yes.
I'm trying to think who's the other Spider-Man, and I like him. Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, yeah.
And
now,
they're
only if he
trying to-
comes back as the third
I'm all up for it.
third movie. Yeah, definitely. I want to see him as Dark Spider-Man again.
Here we go. I'm all up for that.
Doing his little dance.
Torturing myself in a movie twice.
I would love to see more of the Spider-Verse stuff, because I mean, yeah, Spider-Man was always my favorite comic as a kid. I was obsessed with just trying to draw, like I would draw Spider-Man over and over and over again, because I just thought the way he was animated and drawn was so cool, and it was always stylized with different artists, and so yeah, I think like I got a Venom graphic novel when I was like 10, and I probably read that for like 5 years, just over and over and over again, just because I loved it so much. But it was like, I don't even remember what issue it was, but I can remember it was Venom in a sewer, crouched on a pile of skulls, and
I remember that one. That one is a dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
That.
It was kind of like the whole arc of Venom, like it told about his backstory, and then it introduced Carnage at the end. Yeah. So yeah, that was a really fun one. But
I miss those days. I miss those days just picking up a comic, when now you're just like, what the fuck? I gotta read this and this to get this.
Totally. Yeah. But do we know who the villain for Spider-Man is? Is it Dr. Octopus?
We do not know. This is why I'm hyped about it, because it might do this whole multiverse thing that we all know he's supposedly going to be on a run. There's rumors from Daredevil being in it.
Oh yeah, I did see something.
Charlie, what's his name? Charlie Cox. I love that dude as fucking Daredevil. I really do.
Yeah.
I would love to see him back as Matt Murdock, especially in the MCU. And it's interesting because you're saying Doc Ock, and I know it's interesting because I'm saying I hope they do the Spider-Verse thing, because if I'm right, I don't know if they're true completely. I don't know about the Jamie Foxx thing being true, because they supposedly casted Jamie Foxx to come back as Electro.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming, all right, you're bringing back Electro. The only Electro we got was in the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movie.
Right. Maybe they'll bring him back as part of the Sinister Six. Maybe
exactly.
Vulture finally puts together the Sinister Six, and
that's another thing, because we see this dude in the freaking Morbius. I don't know what's going on with that movie.
The Morbius movie,
the Sony Morbius movie,
right?
Kind of hinting at they might do some Into the Spider-Verse kind of crap we don't know about, or they might just bring in Venom and keep Venom in that way Venom is, instead of just trying to do a whole new Venom thing. So I mean, that can make sense.
Dude, how weird do you think how weird do you think Jared Leto got on that movie? I know he was doing some weird stuff as the Joker. Could you imagine him as playing a vampire, like
Dude,
an immortal vampire?
I'm fucking embarrassed to say I used to love listening 30 Seconds to Mars, and
Oh
I was just
yeah,
like, I
yeah.
look at this dude like, fuck wrong with you,
He's
man.
so creepy, man. He's so creepy. But then that makes for a convincing actor. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see at some point. But the next thing we got to talk about is what I'm kind of the most stoked for, at least right now, aside from the Spider-Man thing too, because I think that that's just going to be awesome. But Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is coming out March 2022, March 25th to be precise. And it's the the long-awaited sequel to Doctor Strange, and we know that Wanda is coming back for that. She's going to be a part of that whole thing. So
Yeah.
I think we could probably put our speculation goggles on and say that she'll be, or Doctor Strange might be helping her find her children. Or perhaps they meet on this, multiverse, and she's going to look for her children. He's going to do something else. Who do you think the big bad is going to be for all this stuff? Because it really seems to me like we're getting so large, and we're getting into like this really complicated thing where it's like, okay, well now street level villains don't seem like enough. We need like galactic villains.
It's kind of cool because Marvel do have those galactic villains they can play with beyond Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great too because in this sense, they're not one of those, they kind of basically do a one and done thing. They tell a story they have to about these characters. And I mean, you see how many times they off these freaking villains.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like that because I'm like, dude, I don't need to be jumping on another CW show and watching the same villains come back for 8 seasons straight.
Right. Yeah, no, that's fair. That is fair. And, sometimes it's better to just contain the villains in one sort of movie. But I do think that there is something missing from not having a looming threat, kind of like Thanos. But I mean, it doesn't have to be the same. Like there could definitely be different iterations of like a big bad. We've talked about the sort of secret wars or secret invasion sort of happening.
They got plenty to draw from. And then there's a bunch of big bads that people are not familiar with. And I think we're going to get a glimpse of it in
Can they just buy Silver Surfer back and make him good?
No, they got him.
Oh, they have him now? Oh, that's good.
He was in the whole Fox acquisition because he was part of the whole Fantastic Four deal.
Awesome.
So they got
bring Silver Surfer in.
They got all that good stuff. They have a lot to play with right now, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Especially with the X-Men too. I'm like, man, you can redo Apocalypse, but even better.
Yes.
The Phoenix Force.
Well, I don't know if they could ever get the Phoenix Force right, but yeah.
You know what? And I think that's why everybody is like, where is X-Men at? And when we get to the end of that list, it's like, I don't mind taking a break.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're waiting maybe 2024 to do a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too, for sure. I would like to see some new X-Men stuff. I feel like the last 2 or 3 X-Men movies were just kind of like meh. I think the Phoenix Force, like if you're going to do the Phoenix Force, stop letting Jean Grey change her mind at the end. Like Jean Grey is incredibly powerful. Just let her kill a whole bunch of people,
exactly. And that can bring in a whole concept of there was a couple story arcs. They did it twice and that I know of, a whole X-Men versus the Avengers thing, and they can use it. In the best way. And I think they can do the Phoenix Force way better right now too, because they're building up their cosmic audience with Guardians of the Galaxy, the Eternals, and even Thor is jumping into the whole cosmic game. So I think it can work out even better once they iterate that.
Absolutely.
Doctor Strange, I can't wait. I know Sam Raimi has jumped on it.
Yes.
One possible villain, I guess, what's his name, Mordor, especially after what he did after the first movie, basically going around the world. He's going to be
that's right,
absorbing up people with magic.
Yes.
Then they've been talking about a villain called Nightmare.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be super cool.
There's another character I would love to see that's a Doctor Strange villain, and his name is Shimagorag.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Basically a big eyeball It's like
Nice.
with tentacles and shit
Oh
from
yeah,
a
kind of
different dimension.
like Shea Gorath from Skyrim. Or
Yeah,
not Shea of Gorath, but there was another one that was like a tentacle monster with eyeballs. Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of people thought that was him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, that big thing they were fighting at the beginning, which was
Oh
not.
yeah. No.
I'm hyped. I mean, they can do a
Yeah.
lot with Doctor Strange, and I'm
Seriously. I
gonna
would
go see
love
that in 3D.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm very looking forward to how they sort of conceptualize what the multiverse looks like, because I know that that's probably where we're going to start to see it officially, is in Doctor Strange.
We might see it sooner than we expect.
Oh, maybe in Loki.
In Loki.
Right. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah. I kind of like the way they're doing it with Loki because it seems like it's like a bureaucracy, which I think is hilarious, where it's like an office and, like then it's just like this bureaucracy that runs all of the multiverses to make sure that they're, falling in line correctly.
What's his name? Owen Wilson.
Owen
I was
Wilson's great.
like they put Owen Wilson in a Marvel thing. I was like, you know what? I can't bitch. I like it already.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, he's got that charisma. It's the broken nose and the voice. He's just got it. But yeah, right. But yeah, so Doctor Strange will be 2022 and March 25th, and then we have May 6th, 2022. So basically a year from now, we got Thor: Love and Thunder. Is Taika Waititi coming back for this one?
Yeah.
Is he good? Good.
He's completely taken over.
Good.
We're gonna see some more legacy stuff. So we might see what's his name? Chris Hemsworth actually step down.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to say, is that they're going to pass it on to Natalie Portman. I don't think that Natalie Portman wants it. So as far as the actress goes, I don't think Natalie Portman, the actress, wants to be in a 5 or 10 year deal with Disney. So I don't know.
I'm surprised she came back.
I'm surprised she came back too. It seems like she seems a little bit. No, the money must have talked. The money must have definitely talked.
She must have seen. Oh, Wonder Woman is good. I mean, because I think it was. I forget.
That's true. That's true.
It was good, and you know what? I think I was wrong.
Yeah. Maybe there is a little bit of actual art to these movies, Natalie. Maybe you don't have to be so pretentious. I know that you were in great movies, but
come on, don't blow it out of proportion. That she got you in trouble.
I mean, we're talking crap. She's like an Academy Award winning actress, isn't she? I don't know if she's won an Oscar, but
I've heard nothing but good things. I think she was it was Black Swan, but I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, she's very good. I don't know I don't really know we don't know much about all of these, but for Thor, I really enjoy the fact that they like Taika brought freshness to Thor again, because after Dark Worlds, it was like, okay, you really need to add some comedy to this guy because you're not doing him any service. Like once Thor became funny, that's when it was like, oh, okay, now we know where he falls into all of this, And
I think they noticed right then and there that some of these characters just can't do it by themselves. They have to have some type of
buddy.
And I think bringing in the Hulk just definitely did it, making Valkyrie the way she was, and just kind of like making the whole Valkyrie lore just different. This is what I mean. It's not panel to panel. It's not book for book. It's just
taking bits and pieces of everything,
making it anew. It's great.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, honestly, the last Thor movie was probably one of my favorite Marvel movies, just because stylistically I loved it. I love Taika Waititi's direction. I like his writing and his sense of humor. And yeah, so I mean, like, I think he did a really good job. If there are more Thor movies, please just make him make them all. So
I think,
I mean, even when Thor was with the Guardians, that was like great. Him and Peter like into those little tiffs with each other, like that was like comic gold.
It was great, and I can't wait. We're gonna see a little bit of it in this movie.
Yeah,
then we might get to see him again in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I'd love that for sure. Let's move on. And this one is going to be a very big endeavor for them. But July 8th, 2022 is going to be Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. I guess that's the official tagline or title for the next one. A lot of people are speculating Shuri's going to take the mantle, which I can understand. I mean, like that seems like the most natural progression.
It's happened in the book, so
yeah,
I'm not surprised if it does.
right.
It's just one of those things on how you gonna write it. How you gonna
It's going to be
write
a
it?
tough one for the writers, big
And if
time.
not, or are you just gonna recast them? It's like we just don't know. And it's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting to say, to see. And you know what? This is one of those situations where I'm not gonna get up and talk smack or fight it.
nah.
I'm just gonna. It's understandable.
Yeah, I
And
mean, like obviously they'd want to have Chadwick in the position if he could have been. So like let's be kind and hope that they write a really great story. And I think that they will. I think that they'll try their best to pay homage and try to pass the torch along.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I
depressing
mean,
to talk about, but
it
yeah,
is a little bit. Yeah, I know. It's a little bit of a downer, but I think that they can make it really beautiful. So, and I'm, interested in seeing more of what Wakanda's got going on because last time we left it, they opened themselves up to the world. I'd like to see how they interact with the world more. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of that in that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And then one I've never even heard of before in November 11th, 2022, The Marvels.
Okay, so it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah.
So that's basically Captain Marvel too.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought she got removed from Captain Marvel.
she calmed her shit down. Let's just say that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She
She realized maybe she didn't have a bargaining chip after all.
This is one of those sense where you got people like Natalie Portman realize, let me shut the hell up.
Yeah.
The Disney snipers are here.
Right.
And then they're all probably looking at Gina. They're like, you should have shut up.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is on many levels. Brie Larson, I think she learned to shut her mouth. I think it was just one of those things where Brie, where there was a lot of tension with a lot of the other actors.
Yeah, most of them did not like her.
No.
Yeah, especially Don Cheadle.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, don't touch me. He was so serious about that. That was such an awkward moment. I'm like, dang, okay, there's a history there.
The thing is with her, I think what saved her was Samuel, because her and Samuel are good buddies in real life.
Oh, okay.
I think he had to talk with her like, you need to chill that shit.
Yeah. You're not I don't think you can be much of a diva in this type world. You know what I mean? You're acting with so many different people. You know what I mean? Like you have Robert Downey Jr., you have Samuel Jackson, you have, Chris Hemsworth and Evans and all the Chris's are in this, so it's like, I don't know. You're playing with heavy hitters. I don't think that you can be a diva about it.
And they cut a lot of her time out of what was
so much
Infinity War and Endgame.
She may as well not been there, except for getting Tony back to Earth.
Yeah,
and that was the only reason.
So, I'm trying to remember. So I figured it out. When I was like, "What the hell is the Marvels?" And I'm like, "Could that be like something for rebranding the X-Men?" Which I've heard they're gonna rebrand it as, mutants or whatever. I remember one thing watching WandaVision. The chick that plays Monica.
Yes.
In the storyline of in the comics, she becomes Captain Marvel, or Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel. You get yelled at from other nerds if they
Photon.
Yeah, she is considered. Her name was Photon, and she was also she had the title of Miss Marvel once before.
Oh, okay.
With her meeting
it's going to be a team up sort of thing.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of brush in the whole Miss Marvel thing into it too.
Yeah, that could make sense. I mean, it might be a way to kind of to phase Brie Larson out of it. I feel bad because I don't really think they ever really gave her a chance. I feel like
they will. I
Maybe
think
they
they will.
will. Yeah.
I think she
Captain Marvel
honestly.
just seems like a franchise nobody really cared about anyway. So just
So
like, yeah.
the situation with Captain Marvel, it really wasn't because it
Yeah.
was some dude parading as Captain Marvel.
Hmm.
Then randomly, it was a writer name of Sue the Conic or something like that.
Mm.
So she took up the mantle of writing it. So they rebranded it and they branded with the whole, woman independent thing,
Oh.
and they rebranded it as Captain Marvel and rebranded
Oh
her
yeah.
character Miss Marvel as Captain Marvel. And you know what? It blew up. People
Mm.
loved it,
Oh, okay.
and
So
it
they're
just
trying to ride the wave that maybe just wasn't there anymore.
yeah. And supposedly it's still riding strong along with
Mm.
the new Miss Marvel. So they just rebranded Miss Marvel with a different character, which
Mm.
is going to be forget the character name, something it's a Middle East, a Pakistani girl,
Oh, Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan, and you know
Hmm.
what? She has been very loved right now,
Oh,
from
okay.
her debut as Miss Marvel in the comics to the
Mm.
last. I love her in the Avengers, the Marvel Avengers game. She's such a great character.
Oh,
If
okay.
you
Right
if you
on.
ever pick up the game,
Yeah.
dude, it's a great game.
Right on.
Beyond the
Yeah.
exclusive shit, she's a great character, and the game is written great. And yeah, I can't wait for her TV show.
Nice. Then up next, we have the one that nobody's asking for, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. I
But
feel
honestly, that's where Loki comes in.
yeah. I
That
think
linkage.
the Quantum Mania is probably going to be interesting enough. I feel bad because Ant-Man is just such a, I don't know. I mean, I love Paul Rudd and I think he's really funny. And I actually like the last two Ant-Man movies, but they're just not that great. You know what I mean? There's just something about him where I'm like, yeah, but it's Ant-Man. So, like,
Hey, dude,
yeah.
he was the character itself is much more boring.
Yeah,
In the
that's true.
books, it was just like
See.
they made it into something
That's
worthwhile.
good. Yes, Paul Rudd is definitely a great actor and very. He's got a lot of magnetism to him. So, I'd be interested in seeing what happens. But they're definitely getting into this quantum stuff, and I feel like things are going to get real weird in the next couple years for Marvel.
I think it is, and they're definitely. I think in game and the whole time traveling thing was the gateway to the multiverse.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm gonna make reference to DC and what DC is trying to do right now.
Mm.
Bullshit. And they're trying to dive into the multiverse themselves. And I think Marvel is setting it up where it's going to be much more successful.
Yes.
And you see it with Endgame. You're going to see it with Loki because
Hmm.
in the trailer they reference Loki as a variant.
Yes.
Then you also think about Gamora. That misplaced Gamora that's in the current timeline now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And
So
Wanda.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole thing is the supposed next big bad villain is going to be a guy called Khan,
Mm.
the Conqueror, and he's basically, and this is where the whole time police thing comes into with Loki. And if you ever look at the trailer, that whole thing you see when they show you the bureau, you
Mm.
see a statue, and in that statue in the corner, you see that character. And his big thing is he's a Fantastic Four villain, but he was a big bad because he's basically changing shit in time to his gain. So,
Okay.
and he's
That's
just
kind of
like
cool. I mean, I would
scary.
love to. I would love to see stuff like that. I'd love to see a. I like this. That's why I'm stoked for the Loki show because I'm like, I love this idea of like a time bureaucracy, where it's like like
It's great.
time detectives have to go find like a time thief or like a time jumper or something.
And
That
they
would
got
be
to
so
fix it.
cool. Yeah, I'd love that.
So I think we're gonna see, and they already casted the guy from it's that show on HBO Max right now, the Lovecraft.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The lead actor, he's gonna be Khan, and we're gonna see they already named him as the villain for the next Ant-Man and Wasp movie.
Oh wow.
So we're actually gonna probably see some real development happening, hopefully. I can't
Oh,
wait for
okay.
that.
That's gonna be kind of cool. Maybe he's gonna be one of the overarching villains for the foreseeable future.
Or Galactus. No,
Or Galactus. I mean, yeah, I don't know. They might not want to blow that load too
gotcha.
quickly. Yeah, they probably want to let him hang back for a while.
Just make him a cloud.
Yeah, just watching over everything. I love that. And then next we got the farthest away, at least so far as we know, 2 years from now, May 5th, 2023, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Hey, imagine they make it a Cinco de Mayo thing too.
I love that. That would be so good. Yes, absolutely. They got James Gunn back, which I felt like they probably had to do that because
And there's
he's too much of an asset to let go.
Yes, he is. And they probably see, oh, you're going to Warner Brothers to do what?
Suicide
Going
Squad?
back home?
Yeah. So they snapped him back up real quick, which is understandable.
Which was great.
Yeah. I would like to see, I know that they said that Thor is going to be in this. We're probably going to, I would like to know a little bit more about Peter Quill. I really liked the second movie, but I felt like, I don't know, ego got too easily. You know what I mean? Like for a living planet, he kind of got beaten too easily for me. So I'd like to see more about this celestial sort of aspect of things. And does Peter still have that power now that his dad's dead?
I don't think he does. And I think it's interesting because the planet Igor was never his father in the original books. Like his father was literally like this king that was a tyrant.
Oh, okay.
Over the galaxy. And he was just
they should have gone with that.
They could have, but I think they wanted to definitely change some stuff up. And I remember back then when they was having negotiations with Fox at the moment because Fox had the rights to that character, and they wanted to play with James Gunn wanted to play with it, and they had to trade off something they needed for the Deadpool movie.
Okay.
They did this trade over. They had to trade and make deals to trade over characters the way they wanted.
Gotcha.
Now they don't have to.
Yeah, who's the guy at the end of Guardians 2? Who's the guy in the egg? I forget his name. The one that they teased at the end.
Adam Warlock.
Adam
a lot
Warlock.
of people were pissed because the original Infinity Gauntlet is boring. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. It's boring, and that's a lot of shit to cram into those type of movies. And I like the way Disney and Marvel did this. So Adam Warlock was supposed to be like one of those key people to deal with Thanos and the whole gauntlet and everything. Because in the comics, he literally kills everybody.
Oh, wow.
Literally.
That's kind of cool. I'm all for that, darkest timeline stuff. Let's start getting weird. I want to see some weird stuff going on. That's why I'm psyched for like the what if stuff too.
I can't wait for that too.
Yeah, that's going to be great
during the summer.
Absolutely. And yeah, I didn't necessarily mention some of the series that were on this. This was just the movies, but we do have Loki coming on June 9th of this year, and that's going to be great. Yep. Then we also got What If, and that's coming this summer. We have Hawkeye in 2021 as well. Miss Marvel is going to be a show. Moon Knight. We also got She-Hulk in 2022. The Guardians holiday special apparently in 2022 as well.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Groot as a Christmas tree. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, do you have anything else before we wrap? Let's talk about Fantastic Four. That's unconfirmed. They don't know when that's going to happen. I feel like Fantastic Four is cursed.
I don't think so. I think it's going to get its poetic justice.
Do you? I mean, like, I would like to see Marvel try it for sure. I think that they
different.
Yeah. How so?
They already casted the director, and it's going to be the guy that does the Spider-Man films.
Can we just send it back to the OG one, and then have Chris Evans be Captain Torch? No.
One thing I do adore about Disney right now is just they're not afraid to go with no name people
Yeah, that's good.
and boost them up.
Yeah, build them up, which is
Because
great actually, because then you don't have to spend as much money on them too.
that's what I was gonna say. They
Yeah.
already know the game. They're not like DC. Ben Affleck, Batman.
Right. Yeah. How long do you think he was going to be Batman for?
For how much you're giving it to him.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And now they're just yeah. They got the director, basically the people that's playing with the Spider-Man Far From the Home series. They're doing Fantastic Four. So knowing for a fact from watching these movies that this movie is definitely going to be something different. It's not going to be that what we expect, which I'm happy with, and it's going to be different. And I think if they're bringing in Kong and something and a couple other people, it's going to help them iterate a couple other characters like Namor.
Yeah.
And a couple other things. So,
all right, real quick. Fantastic Four, one character, your perfect casting.
Shit.
You can choose any of the characters and just who you'd like to see.
Shit. Only one that can come to mind, two that can come to mind is what everybody's been begging for, and I hope they actually go with it. And I think it'd be perfect casting. Is I forget this dude's name. He did the movie The Quiet Place.
Oh yeah, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
I think he would be perfect.
I think so too. Actually, I've seen the side by sides, and I'm like, oh wow, that works. Yeah, that would be a great one. Maybe we can have The Rock as the Thing.
It's funny because I was literally thinking that.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
We could just paint him to look like he has pebbles. Yeah,
there you go.
He doesn't even need a suit. He doesn't need the Michael Chiklis suit.
Poor Michael Chiklis. Now he's in jail.
Oh man, poor guy. But yeah. So, anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this one up?
No, I'm happy. I don't want to. I lean to Marvel because it's so much colorful and much more relatable for characters to myself.
Yeah,
it's just fun.
Yeah,
but you guys mentioned this in the last show about superhero fatigueness. I can see it happening, but I don't think it's going to slow down. And honestly, as a Marvel fan, I'm hyped and I wanted to keep going. I'm getting to see a lot of things I want to see.
Yeah,
I haven't seen and shit I want to see done to my set. I'm not gonna say right, but to my satisfaction.
Yeah. Well, and as much as I moralistically should despise Disney, they make a hell of a TV show and movie. So, like I can't, I can't fight them on that one. They make some really great stuff. I'm going to be tuning in for Loki. I can't wait for that. I'm going to be tuning in for a lot of these, and I'm sure we all are. So, yeah, stay tuned, you guys. We'll definitely be doing reviews of all of this stuff and reviews of other stuff as well. But yeah, thank you. You got anything else, man?
No, just thank you. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, stay tuned for next week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We very much appreciate you. We hope that you enjoyed this discussion. Let us know in the comments what you're most psyched for. Which Marvel movie or franchise are you most psyched for? Let us know in the comments. But we very much just appreciate you. We will be back next week, next Wednesday, for another episode of something. I don't know yet, but the whole group will be back and we'll figure it out for you guys, and it'll be a fun conversation. But thank you so much for taking this trip through the Screen Time Continuum with us. For Screen Time Continuum, I'm Nick.
And I am Dijon.
Thank you so much, you guys. Good night.